Before we get into this video, I'd like to let it be known that I will remain unbiased, but this will not stop me from giving harsh criticisms in the hopes that those this is about will change their ways and understand that they are not pure from flaws. Both sides in the situation are equally bad. I will not coddle anyone here. They do need to learn to be better. Just before we begin, I'd like to explain what pro shipping is. You have the option to skip this. Pro shipping is when you support all ships, no matter if they are problematic and harmful. This includes immoral ships such as family member, ex-family member, adult ex-child, abuser ex-victim, animal ex-human. Here are the categories for the types of ships that you may see when pro shipping is included. Dark shipping is when you ship problematic things like pedophilia, abuse, incest, zoophilia. Com shipping is shipping complex things like immortal x mortal, human x non-human, enemies, rivals, etc. Cross shipping is shipping characters from different forms of media or different universes. Crack shipping is shipping non-harmful, crazy and funny ships that are very unlikely to happen. Self-shipping is when you ship yourself with a character through inserts. Light shipping is the opposite to dark shipping, with the exception that only com ship is enacted. However, pro shipping lost its positive meaning to the moment dark shipping was introduced, some going so far to say it's a coping mechanism. If it was, it wouldn't hurt others, but if it really helps the person deal with their trauma, it should be done in private and not shared online. Around last month, Chrissy, or more well known as Your Tripleblocked, made a TikTok post which was introducing his own character, of which was an anti-pro shipping mascot named Antina. Now, for more context as to why there are antis, it's mainly because pro shipping and dark shipping are well frowned upon by its history, the people affiliated with it as well, and the fact that it gives a safe space for predators to prey on children. It's also known for invalidation and fetishization, romanticism of real traumatic things that should be treated with respect and care to the victims. But unfortunately, a lot of impressionable kids have been groomed into becoming pro shippers, thus starting a very terrible cycle where more people get groomed and more people are convinced that becoming a victim is something they should see as normal, even though it's not. Now, this post sparked outrage amongst most viewers. This led to a commentary channel known as Yummycactus to post a video accusing Chrissy as being a Nazi. This, however, is untrue, as Chrissy is actually Jewish and has family members that were victims to the Holocaust. Eventually, it came out that Yummy had gotten in contact with Chrissy's ex-friends and had dug into his personal information, making a post about how Chrissy had been expelled from school. This again was not true, as he actually left instead. At some point, Chrissy had posted 2 videos about a 13-year-old making mascots or gajinkas of the taboo topics that we've covered at the beginning of this video. Take note that this 13-year-old in no way supports these topics, especially ones such as dark shipping. The first post consists of one of the gajinkas with this caption. The second, however, being a lot more aggressive. That's as good as I can describe its vibe. The second image depicts a redesign of the 13-year-old's anti-shipping mascot, with the foot being on the decapitated pro ship OC the kid made, with text saying "Kill all pro shippers" in the background. This led people to send rape and death threats towards this child on their straw page, as well as Chrissy messaging them saying they were following a pedophile, calling them a pedophile, and then telling them to die. Please note that this kid did not know this person that they were following was a pedophile, and that Chrissy was 17 years old when this happened. After the situation was brought up again, Chrissy had stated that he had apologized to the 13-year-old on the straw page, which I agree was not a good way to go about it. It makes the apology come off more insincere. But this was not true, as instead of an apology was a drawing of a swastika. A few days later, the kid said that he had apologized, but they wouldn't accept it. So, yeah. However, beforehand, while being asked for proof that he had apologized, he had sent cropped Mr. Incredible Fat Fetish porn. And unlike what Yummy claims, this is not classified as sexual harassment, and saying it is an exaggeration. Now, it's apparent that Chrissy is mentally unwell. This could be the cause for his actions online and how he responds to backlash. In this instance, the drama had taken a toll on his mental state, causing him to go through mental spirals, which led to becoming suicidal, which then led to him posting a multitude of things mentioning that. In response, Yummy and others claimed he was sewer baiting, and accusing of doing so to gain sympathy or attention. His TikTok got banned due to the stories he had posted, and he'd make a new one. Now, I'm not going to go into the other stuff that Chrissy had done regarding other artists before, as that's not related to the topic and cause of this drama at all. You do have the option to look for it, though, through other videos that Yummy had made. Before we continue, I'm going to disclose that by this point I will make 4 sections. 2 covering the defense of Yummy and Chrissy, and 2 criticizing their actions. This is to ensure that none of them are exempt from their choices, but both can be sympathized with when you look at things from their perspective. And Tina's design was based off both goth military and the office siren look. There were no real implications that she was an and that having people with large followings accuse you of being an would obviously be upsetting, especially if you yourself are part of the history that were victim to the fascist regime. Chrissy cannot control his age. He is still mentally 16 to 17, as all 18-year-olds are, up until 20 to 21. You don't all of a sudden have the mindset of a 30-year-old when you turn 18. The false accusation of him advocating for genocide is a major reach. Genocide is the mass killing of innocents. His sentiment is towards genuine predators within the pro-shipping community and the people that get off on fetish content of abuse. His videos on the matter are mainly jokes and just genuine rage bait meant for Yummy. However, as immature as this approach is, it's dumb to take these videos serious enough to make more accusations of. Him being a fan of Death in June does not mean he's a fan of the singers and does not endorse their actions. Calling him a for liking music made by is the same energy as calling someone a racist for liking music made by MSI, because they do have and racist history. It's clear that he cares about the kids that were harmed by groomers and by Chrissy, often trying to hold Chrissy accountable for what happened to the 13-year-old. His videos made on Chrissy did actually have some pretty good points. You can watch them on his channel, and these do include patterns of Chrissy's behavior before this whole controversy started. As far as I'm aware, he knows the many differences between pro-shipping types. He's not a pro-shipper himself, but he fights for the protection of those who had been groomed into becoming them. The way he had handled backlash was to either accuse others of being pedophiles, make fat joke art, make strange videos, that's the only way I can describe it, and blame people while saying he was going to kill himself. These are not in any way a mature response to consequences. He is often flippant about the hate that other artists receive due to his videos. He doesn't really know when enough is enough when it comes to this drama. By that I mean he always has a response, even though it's equally as childish as whatever he's responding to. Sometimes the better option is to tough out the jabs without giving the same attitude out. Otherwise, you're just digging the hole deeper. This isn't Yummy's first time being in controversy. He's been in drama between other creators such as Cupidite and Shyster, which means he has a bit of a pattern himself. As mentioned before with previous controversies, Yummy has a problem where he jumps to conclusions, making accusations with no real proof to back his claims up. And much like Chrissy, doubles down a bit when proven wrong. Relating to criticism too, not only does he jump to conclusions, but he holds biases in his videos, which is a big no-no. When you do commentary, you're supposed to be neutral while having both sides to the story. This isn't what Yummy does though, which is seriously unprofessional and instead makes him out as untrustworthy. An example of this is when he had downplayed Shyster's abuse, due to him being biased towards the abuser. He uses his age as a crutch. He made the conscious decision to start this drama first by accusing Chrissy of something terrible. And when Chrissy retaliated, Yummy decided to make out that Chrissy was a genuine predator, saying he was harassing a minor. Mind you, there is a 2-year age difference between Yummy and Chrissy, with Chrissy being freshly 18 years old. You cannot rely on your age to save you from situations you've caused all the time. You'll need to stand on your own 2 feet sometime. He gets involved with and airs out personal things that have zero relevancy to the topic at hand. What he did with telling thousands of strangers that Chrissy had been supposedly expelled and getting into contact with his ex-friends was absolutely unacceptable. Yes, the ex-friends came to you, but you had the option to refuse contact with them. This was a petty way to prove a point that didn't even exist in the first place. This drama is not about the personal life of someone you were arguing with. It's not your business, and you have no right to be showing it to everyone. While Chrissy does push out misinformation, so does Yummy, which makes him out to be an unreliable narrator. This includes the reason why Chrissy dropped out of school, him and Antina being Both these claims were disproven, and Yummy made no action to apologize for it, instead doubling down and making fun of Chrissy for dropping out due to his mental state. Now, this will be a pretty long one because there is a lot of hypocrisy on Yummy's part. Example 1. Alright, let's address the first one, being that in terms of political stance, Yummy and Junie had actually drawn their characters as the communist flag, and as well as saying that the communism isn't a cancelable offense.
And hot take, communism isn't a cancelable offense. Communism isn't a cancelable offense.
Mind you, communism has been criticized as authoritarian or totalitarian for suppressing and killing political dissidents and social classes, religious persecution, ethnic cleansing, forced collectivization, and use of forced labor in concentration camps, which is much like the fascist regime. When you compare these two images, the difference here is quite stark. One is right in your face about it, while the other isn't, because it's up to those interpreting it as an imagery. Yummy's image, however, cannot be interpreted differently because it isn't even subtle about what it's supposed to be and the connotations behind it. Even if it's a joke image, making that as your PFP and crying about Chrissy making joke images and Antina's design shows major double standards. Both fascism and communism are bad because people suffered and died under the political ruling. You cannot say one is bad while excusing the other. Example 2. Art bashing. Now, this one consists of Yummy bashing on Chrissy's art, saying it lacks passion. Now, I'm aware Chrissy has a long history of bashing on artists for their styles, but Yummy doing this would mean they've stooped down to Chrissy's level. This, of course, resulted in Chrissy making a video bashing on Yummy's art. Basically, a game of he said, she said, and overall petty arguing. Again, when does this stop? I'll just be pointing out how fans of both creators have taken it upon themselves to push misinformation, hate, and threats on Yummy's and Chrissy's behalf. Those who defend Chrissy refuse to see things from Yummy's perspective, and Yummy's fans do the same. Fans of both sides want the other gone, as well as make jokes about it. We can't really say for sure that some of Chrissy's are also the ones who harassed that 13-year-old, so take that with a grain of salt. However, what I'm saying here is that by making this drama public, people have taken it as their utmost duty to beef each other over, which may have contributed to the drama itself. Even if it was out of the intention of defending those who think they're the correct one in the situation. Of course, I know we can't control people. It's still annoying to see false information being pushed to and fro, to the point nobody knows what's going on anymore. While on the subject of fans and defenders, there's been talk about Chrissy's defenders being anti-Semitic as well as using alt-right dog whistles. If that's the case, then you shouldn't let that go without consequence. I feel like this should be a learning experience for the both of them. They are still growing and trying to mature and trying to be adults, I guess. But yeah, the way they handled the situation is just so immature, and it's absolutely mad how long it's been dragged this far. But honestly, as long as it doesn't affect their future, and as long as they, learn to just apologize or just get on with their lives, it's not that big a deal, I guess. But yeah, neither side are in the right in this case. It could have ended very fast had Yummy just apologized for digging in through personal stuff and making that accusation in the first place. And it could have ended, especially if Chrissy did not make these images and did not make these videos and did not make jokes, rage bait jokes about it, and overall just refusing to back down a bit. Neither side backed down, and they will not back down until they get bored or someone just, tells them to piss off. Either that, or they'll just stop when they realize that nobody's going to give them any more views. We don't really know for sure. What we do know is that the more this was dragged on, the less it became about morality and more about pride. They're doing this out of pride by this point. And none of them are refusing to apologize to either. And it's really silly. I think it's silly. I don't think either party should be online if they can't even handle simplest of drama ever without exaggeration or dragging it on or dragging other people into it or getting their fan base involved with it. It's stupid. I don't think this was ever a good idea. I don't think this was even it's just stupid. It's genuinely just stupid. Because why are you still dragging this on? Nobody wants to hear about it anymore. You are irritating everyone. You either apologize or piss off. And I haven't really given every single detail, and I haven't mentioned Junie Draws that much because he wasn't directly involved all that much. And as far as my interactions with him goes, he's kind of nice. He's pretty nice, but his one flaw is that he doesn't let Yummy take the fall for his own actions. He always needs to clean it up, which is not fair to Junie. it's not his obligation to clean up after the mess that Yummy has made. And it's not fair at all, right? Because people have started sending threats to Junie now. That's not fair. And I don't really know much about him, but you don't go after someone's partner if you're beefing with someone. It's just stupid. And Chrissy, when I tell you not to make any more of these joke images because it will just keep dragging it on and adding more fuel to the flame, it's usually some really good advice. And when I did tell you that, you didn't take it, and that did my head in. That genuinely put me off defending you. And I tried defending you, but I'm off it now. Because you just pissed me off with that. Right? I don't even know why I'm trying to help sort you out when it's clear you don't want my help at all. So I've decided to just let you two have it out. This is just a quick rundown of what's actually happened without too much misinformation or too much information at all. Because we don't really need to have it an hour long. If you want more information, there's documents, there's videos, I can put them in the description. But I'm not gonna waste more than 2 days of my life making a video about some stupid bullshit that two childish creators have made for themselves, because it's just. But the reason I've even made this is because it's so irritating. I don't want to keep waking up, going on TikTok or YouTube, and constantly seeing videos about it. For fuck's sake. But yeah, I do have to applaud you for dragging this to the point that someone older than both of you has to make a video about it and just telling you to stop, because nobody's really happy about it, mainly because of how much it's being spammed left and right in their faces, to the point they're just getting really irritated and telling you to stop. And you won't stop because you keep dragging it. The both of you keep dragging it. And nobody wants to hear about it. So, yeah. Pack it in. Genuinely, just pack it in. Alright, that's about it. Don't come after me, alright? Don't come after me. All I'm just saying is my opinion by this point. Don't come after me for it, alright? I just don't want this drama in my life right now. Don't come after me.